Everyone in the hallway stopped and stared as a sharp crack echoed off the lockers. Just seconds earlier, Ava was standing quietly at her locker, organizing her books, minding her own business. Now, one of the school's biggest bullies was sprawled across the floor, clutching his back, as bits of tile cracked beneath him. His friends stared in frozen shock. And Ava... She simply bent down, picked up her broken glasses, and stared back with a calm that chilled the air. This is the story of how a quiet, nearly invisible girl taught an entire school that strength isn't always loud. Ava Mitchell was the kind of girl most people overlooked. It's not because she wasn't smart or kind, she was both, but because she kept to herself. With thick glasses, messy brown hair usually tied back in a lazy bun, and clothes that always looked a size too big, Ava moved through the school like a ghost, but behind that quiet exterior. Ava had scars. Her father had been in the military. After he passed away in an accident, Ava and her mom had moved towns too many times to count. Each new school meant starting over, and each time the bullying started again. The school, West Hill High, was no different. The ringleader this time was Logan Hayes. He was tall, muscular, and popular. But he was also cruel. He had a way of turning laughter into a weapon, his jokes always barbed and mean. His group of friends, Jack, Ryan, and Zoe, followed him like shadows, echoing every insult and giggle. At first, Ava had tried to ignore them. Her mom always said, "They only win if you let them see you break." So she stayed silent. She ate lunch alone. She avoided eye contact. But Logan's group didn't lose interest. They pushed her books off desks, stole her lunch, laughed at her clothes, and whispered cruel things as she passed. But nothing stung more than the day they took her glasses. It was after third period, and Ava had just closed her locker. Logan strolled up, wearing his signature smirk. "Hey, nerd girl," he sneered, snatching the glasses from her face before she could react. "What happens if you can't see? Start walking into walls? Or maybe we test that theory?" Everything blurred instantly. Without her glasses, the world was a fog of shapes and color. Panic bubbled in her chest, but she stood still. Logan laughed. "Ah, look at her. She's helpless. Come on, say something for eyes." But then Ava did something no one expected. She moved fast. Her hand shot forward, grabbed Logan's wrist, twisted his arm behind his back, and with a powerful pivot of her hips, flipped him clean over her shoulder. He crashed to the floor with a crack so loud it silenced the entire hallway. Everyone just stood there. Even Ava looked a little surprised. Then she slowly knelt, picked up her cracked glasses from where they'd landed, slipped them back on, and walked away, calm, silent, not the least bit afraid. What no one at West Hill knew was that Ava had spent the last 5 years training in JIU-JITSU. It was her father's idea, long before he passed. He used to tell her, "You don't need to be the biggest or the loudest, baby girl. You just need to know your strength." And after he was gone, Ava continued training quietly, consistently, and with purpose. That moment in the hallway wasn't just a reaction. It was a decision. The principal called Ava into the office. There were witnesses, security footage. Parents were notified. But surprisingly, Ava didn't get expelled. Logan, on the other hand, was suspended for a week for repeated bullying. His parents were not pleased. But the school dynamics began to shift. People started whispering about the girl who flipped Logan Hayes like a rag doll. Some students came up to Ava, not to tease, but to ask if she could teach them. A few even apologized for laughing before. For the first time, Ava wasn't invisible. She didn't become popular overnight. That wasn't her goal. But she did gain something better: respect. Even Zoe, Logan's so-called friend, quietly switched lunch tables and asked Ava if she could sit with her. Turns out Zoe had been bullied by Logan too, just more privately. Weeks passed, and Ava grew more confident. She started a small self-defense group after school. At first, only a few girls showed up. Then it grew and grew. Soon even a few boys joined in. Her mother, proud beyond words, volunteered to help fund equipment. Ava's story began spreading online. A teacher wrote a blog post. A local news station picked it up. Messages poured in from other kids, other schools, other girls who'd felt powerless. The biggest moment came at the end of your assembly. Ava was asked to speak. Standing on stage, microphone in hand, she looked out at the sea of faces, some familiar, some once cruel, now quiet. "I'm not here to talk about fighting," she began. "I'm here to talk about strength. Real strength isn't about who can throw the hardest punch. It's about knowing your worth. It's about standing up, not just for yourself, but for others. Every single one of you has something strong inside. You just have to stop hiding it." A standing ovation followed. Even Logan, sitting quietly at the back of the gym, didn't. Smirk this time, moral. Ava didn't break the floor that day. It's just to make a statement. She broke silence. She broke fear. And in doing so, she taught everyone watching that sometimes the quietest people carry the loudest power.